G'day.
Hello there.
I'm Aussie Robbo.
I'm English Jen.
And welcome to our final travel day episode where we travelled back to London.
As you can see from the thumbnail and the title, it didn't go well.
It wasn't a pleasant travel day at all, no.
But come along and join us and we'll show you what we got up to and how we went on.
So we headed back to the hotel and we had about 4 to 5 hours before we needed to be at the airport.
Yeah, we gave ourselves plenty of time. We knew we weren't going to be spending all day in the parks and stuff, and we gave ourselves loads of time. Went back to the hotel, got freshened up even, picked up our bags from storage, and then were told that you could get their version of the Magic Express directly from the hotel.
Yeah, so it was only about a five-minute wait maximum to get to the bus. Then once we got on, it then travelled to the Newport.
Yes,
first of all,
Newport was the final stop, and then I think it kind of came back on itself and went past our hotel again, not stopping, but went past it, and then took us to the station. Which, for anybody who's a regular DLP, it's not very far at all. But it was good service. It's just a lot of waiting when we got to Newport.
Yeah, Newport it waited at least 5 minutes, which was strange. It didn't wait 5 minutes when it was at the hotel we were staying at.
But again, we thought we had plenty of time.
So travelling back has turned into a bit of a nightmare, much the same way that travelling here was a bit of a nightmare as well, all involving the trains. So we got here about 3.5, 4 hours before we were due to depart this evening on the plane. And when we got to the TGV office, they said there wasn't going to be another train for another hour and a half, and then it was also delayed somehow, an hour and a half ahead. So then the guy said that maybe we should get the taxi or get a bus. So we looked for the express or the shuttle service. Couldn't really find that. We inquired about taxis and that was about €80, which seemed a bit ridiculous, and that would still take over an hour anyway because it was in peak hour traffic, I guess. So after going all over the place, we kind of settled on just getting the TGV back. It is running late, but we're about to get on as we've been led on the platform. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that should get us to the airport and get us checked in. So once we did actually get on the platform, we actually waited over another hour for the train to arrive when we were on the platform. So for some reason, the train just kept getting later and later, and it was turning into a bit of a disaster trying to get to the airport.
I also wasn't feeling too well myself and wasn't having the best time with it, and it was kind of, that made it feel a lot worse, and we kept looking at the clock and thinking, no, we've still got time, but no, we didn't. I just want to get back now. I've never been more stressed. This is harder than going to Florida and back. Next time we do just the train all the way. We hold out until that happens.
So once on the train, it was a really quick journey. It's 10 minutes by train from the park to the airport. It was just that initial waiting for the train to come along, which didn't seem very often. Once we were at the airport, it was a really quick journey to get from the train station to the check-in desk. We'd done the journey 3 days before, so we knew it pretty well. We only had less than an hour once we got to the airport to check in, go through security, go through border control, and get to the flight.
Yeah, so the initial check-in was all automated, and they had people there to help, but they weren't very helpful. I had an extra bag which had some merch in it. I wanted to make sure that was being checked in or whatever. They completely ignored that, and it was very manic. It wasn't the best experience, to be honest, and I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, so once we got through the check-in, we then went to border control. That took another 40 minutes, even though there wasn't that many people there, but for people outside Europe, it's really slow, which obviously England is now outside Europe.
There were a number of people who were also on our flight, we could tell, who were also panicking the same as we were, that they weren't going to make it.
Security, again, was really, really slow. We had a woman in front of us who literally had to unpack her entire bag, and she was taking about 5 to 10 minutes, and we actually had to ask if we could go in front of her, and then there was a big kerfuffle before we finally got let go and managed to get through security. One
of the members of staff said yes, the other member of staff said no, then they argued about it, but we got through, and then it was crazy time.
Then we got the shuttle over to the other terminal, and then we had to run like in Home Alone. I've never run in an airport before, but this was kind of crazy. We had to run like we were in Home Alone and try and make it to the check-in. We literally had 5 minutes for when the shuttle got into getting to the departure desk, which was at the furthest end of the terminal we were going in.
I just kept seeing lots of other sort of passengers for other planes looking at us gone out as we frantically ran. And with me, I don't run, I hobble. So it was kind of really, yeah, it was a bit of a marathon.
And then once we did get to the departure gate, we were quite lucky in that they were taking a long time to check the paperwork in regards to the testing. So that kind of saved us in terms of checking in on the departure desk.
Yeah, it did feel like a huge relief when we got there and there was a huge queue. And we were there for a further, 20 minutes?
20 minutes at least, yeah.
So it delayed the flight anyway. We thought we were the ones who were going to delay it. Actually, there were people who turned up behind us as well. So all was not lost. COVID actually saved the day on this occasion.
And then the flight was pretty drama-free. That was actually the easiest part of the journey, getting on the flight, and then it just came straight back, no delays. My t-shirt game was very strong this day as well. So my final t-shirt was a t-shirt featuring Trixie and Katia, and I got 3 compliments on the plane when I was getting on from people who are obviously fans of their show.
One of which was the pilot.
So once we touched down in England, everything was smooth. Got the baggage pretty quickly, got to the tube, took the tube home.
Silently.
Yeah, very exhausted. Once we got to the English side, it was fine. It was just getting to the airport, which was a bit of a struggle. And I think we both decided that we don't really want to fly again to Paris. If we do go again, it'll definitely be by the Eurostar, hopefully direct, but otherwise it'll definitely be by the Eurostar in some form or another.
We'll be holding out for sure, as I said earlier on the train. So we'd like to thank you for following this series of Disneyland Paris. It's been drama, it's been fun, but overall I would say it's been fun. It's been great. It's been a great trip. We had a good laugh. We got plenty in the few days we were there.
Exhausting, but fun, yes.
Yeah, we needed a holiday when we got back, and sadly there wasn't one on the horizon. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We love your comments. Let us know if you've ever had any sort of travel nightmares down below, especially with France. And hopefully we'll see you soon.